Okay, welcome back to Engineering Made Easy. Today we're going to talk through just an introduction to MATLAB, kind of go through some basic MATLAB commands today, introduce you to this powerful coding platform, and just give you some foundational knowledge for how to use MATLAB in an engineering application or any other applications. Okay, so for the first time you open MATLAB, this is what your window is going to look like for you. Basically, some elements here. You've got your current folder. This is your working directory. So if you had any functions or other codes or any data files, they would live over here. Now this folder that we're in, there's nothing added to it yet, but in later lessons we'll kind of show you how to work with data, work with function files, and those are all going to live over here. This is our command window. So what we can do here is if we're doing any kind of quick computation, we can do that in the command window. For example, if I was doing some homework and I said, okay, what's 45 times 9.8? I can type that, press enter, and it's going to give me my answer. That's 441. Great. So the command window is good for quick computing, or if you have kind of some quick checks that you need to do, you can do those in the command window. Now you'll notice as soon as I did that computation, this popped up over here. So this is my workspace. Now the workspace basically saves all of my variables that I might be using as I code, which is really nice. So as I'm coding, I can come over to my workspace and kind of check my work as I go. Give you an example here. So if I wanted to do, let's say like an A plus B equals C kind of thing, and come here and say, okay, A equals 10. A is going to pop up here in my workspace. And I can do maybe B equals 20. And that's also going to pop up here in my workspace. So I've got A is 10, B is 20. Then let's say I want to do A plus B equals C. So I'm going to do it like this. C equals A plus B. C equals 30. Great. Save to my workspace. Another thing you can do is you can define variables as matrices. Talk about this more later, but basically what you do is you use these square brackets. Let's say I want to make A equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a matrix. And now A is going to look like this. And I can open it up, and it's this 1 by 5 matrix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's something you can do in your workspace. If you have a big matrix of values saved under a variable, you can double click and open it up, take a look at it. And then I can close out of this here. And then let's say I wanted to make B equals 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, now B is a matrix. And then again, I can do C equals A plus B, do some matrix addition, and that also saves to my workspace. So quick computing, you can do it with the command window and with the workspace. But for most of our application in MATLAB, we're going to use what's called a script. And the way that you start a new script is you come up here and you hit new script. Boom. And then this coding platform opens up. So the nice thing about a script is you can write things out line by line sequentially. So if I wanted to do what we just did with the matrix math, I could do that with this script. The way I would do it is I would say A equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matrix. You put a semicolon on the end of a line to suppress it. What that means is I'll show you what happens if I don't have the semicolon. If I run this script, I have to save every script before I run it. So we call this example. And then I run it and it spits out the computation in the command window. Now if I'm going to put a semicolon on here and run it, then it doesn't output in the command window. So again, without the semicolon, that's going to show up down here. With, it's not. Okay, so then I can also do B equals 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, semicolon, and then I'll just do C equals A plus B. I'll suppress that. Okay, So it just did exactly what we did in the command window, but because everything is being suppressed, we don't see anything pop out down the command window. But all the variables are over here in the workspace, A, B, and C. And then if we wanted to see what C equals, just take off that semicolon. Boom. There's A plus B equals C. Now the nice thing about doing things in the script is if you make any mistakes or if you want to come back and make any changes, you can do it directly in the script. So say I wanted to make B like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Run that. A plus B equals C, and that gives me my answer down here. So you can make changes without having to rewrite the whole thing. Now, a couple things for good practice. Top of every script, I write the following lines. Clear all, close all, CLC. Now what this does is clear all. I'll run that for you. So if you highlight something, you right click it, you hit evaluate selection, and it'll just evaluate what you've highlighted. So clear all clears your workspace. Clears all your workspace variables. That way, if you've defined any variables and then you're rerunning your script, those variables that have been previously defined could stick around and cause errors. If we clear all of our variables every time we rerun our script, we avoid any problems with, like, say I define C down here and then I also have C being used in a computation up top, could cause some problems. So it's just good practice. Close all closes any figures that you might have open. So if you're plotting, this is a good command to have at the top just so you don't plot multiple things on the same figure by accident. And then CLC clears your command window, which is nice. So I'm going to run this, and there's A, B, and C back in my workspace. Great. Now I'm going to show you what happens if we make a mistake. Okay, so I just pulled out a value from B, and now our matrix dimensions don't agree, so we can't add these two matrices together. The nice thing about MATLAB is it always tells us exactly where our errors are occurring, and it tells us why they occur. So for example, we can't add these two matrices together because the dimensions don't agree. So MATLAB tells us matrix dimensions must agree, tells us where the error occurs. It's on line 9 when we try to add these two matrices together. So I can say, oh, okay, there must be an error with my matrices. I can come back up here, see that I'm missing a value, and now my error message has gone away. Great. Now, if I want to learn about a command, or say I want to learn how to plot something, we can look up any command in this help area up here. So for example, if I want to know how to plot, I can type plot, and it's going to give me help documentation for the plot command. I'll open this up, and here MATLAB tells you all the information you need to accurately use the plot command. These are different ways of inputting commands to the plot command, giving you different options for how you plot, but the basics are just right up here. So plot of x and y creates a 2D line plot of the data in y versus the corresponding values in x. So okay, if I just have x values and y values, I can plug them in like this and we should be able to plot. So I can close my help window, come down here, I'm going to add a plot. Let's plot A and B, just for the heck of it. So I'm going to suppress this, you plot AB, boom. There's B plotted by A. So you got 1 and 11, 2 and 12, etc. So that's kind of basically how you plot. And we'll cover plotting in more depth in another video. But hopefully that gives you kind of a rough overview of how to use MATLAB. So again, we've got our working directory here. So any code that you're running has to be in your working directory. We've got our command window where you can do quick computations. 6 divided by 3. 2. You have your script here where you can do longer coding That's where we're going to be doing most of our coding, is in scripts. And then you have your workspace where you can see your variables as you code, kind of check your work as you go along. And you've got your help up here if you need to look up the functions. All of our run commands exist here for running our script. Save here, open other files, save as, etc. Pretty straightforward so far. Okay, so that goes for the introduction. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and we'll go through some more advanced commands in subsequent videos. Thanks.